everyone. Hope you're doing well. And I'm going to try my best today because it's a bit windy, so I'm going to try and project my voice a little bit so you can hear me. But at least it's not raining, eh? Because there's not been too many of them days of late. I'm just checking in with you guys because I've been doing a little bit of work. I've been writing a blog actually on relationships with alcohol in respect of sort of mental well-being. And I sort of did a bit of a tally up, and I've not drank a drop of alcohol for nearly 4 years, and I couldn't quite believe it actually. The years just keep flying by. So in August will be 4 years, which I find amazing for me. But as for some of you that might know, obviously it was a case of having to stop quite abruptly nearly 4 years ago if I wanted to sort of mitigate any sort of issues relating to any future strokes or mental health problems. So and of course what I don't want to do is I absolutely don't want to demonise alcohol, because there is some aspects of alcohol that can be beneficial for people in respect of, it's good to connect and socialise and things like that. So absolutely, I don't want to demonise it to the extent that people stop drinking, because again, stopping abruptly is probably not a tactic I'd certainly use with any of my clients. And obviously there's a gradual process to that, to make sure that it's done in a safe way that'll actually be sustainable and support you in the longer term. I often get asked, how did you go about it? Well, I did do it the hard way, guys. It was a case of having to. But for family and friends that sort of knew me, I was one of those that used to binge a lot. I wasn't a midweek drinker, but I certainly did have a good old drink on a Friday, a Saturday and a Sunday. And it's only when I sort of reflect on it, the reasons why I used to do it. Now, of course, you have various ways of escapism, and alcohol was certainly one of them, to the point where, it was horrifically bad. And it sort of, it took me down a path or an individual that I didn't really like or who I wanted to be, but it was a challenge to get out of it, let's say. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. And of course, I've got a wife, a little boy, and they weren't really seeing the right sort of Chris Duncan, or the Chris Duncan that they wanted to see, and that was very sad. But I think sort of thinking, going into the benefits for me as an individual, and I think that's the key here, we're all sort of individual, is I feel so much confident, so much better in myself. I can be the dad, I can be the husband I really want to be, but at the same time I can be a really good friend. I can listen a lot better than I used to, and advise in a much measured way. And that's the same way as work as well. I'm not, with colleagues, and I'm not irrational like I used to be. I mean, the sort of anxiety and particularly the depression, it's not there. It's not there anymore. And I've found other ways of escaping, other sort of coping strategies and mechanisms, that make me, feel better, or if I want to lean towards to help me out on the odd occasion that there is a negative emotion or something that, might potentially stress me out. And of course, a lot of people use alcohol in that way. And don't get me wrong, guys, there's times when I really do crave an alcoholic beverage. And the world's changed. There's so many different substitutes now. If you go into a local off license, or you go into a pub or a bar or a restaurant, there's alcoholic free drinks, ales, things like that. I mean, I spoke to someone the other day and they were talking about Ireland, one of the biggest drinking cultures there is going. The same, you could say that about Scotland, and England for that matter. The culture shift and change in terms of generations and how people drink is vastly changed now. And I just think, yeah, there's so many different ways to sort of get around it. And as I say, the wrong way is to sort of come off it straight away. It has to be a gradual process, but there is substitutes out there. There's different ways of managing sort of that stress, the expectations of everybody else, as well, because again, it's not easy when you're going into scenarios like parties or the local pub with your mates or a beer festival and not being able to drink. I've been through all that, guys, and let me be absolutely honest with you, it's tough, but to get the benefits that you want, to be the person you want to be, to have the better skin, to have the better cognitive functioning, to be more confident, have more self-worth, self-esteem, all these different type of things, you've got to stick with it. You've got to be patient with it, and yeah, you've got to keep going with it, guys. So it will come, and these things around dry January, they're a great starting point, but to feel the benefits that that I certainly felt from reducing or coming off the alcohol, you've got to give yourselves anything between 2 or 3 months to really start to feel the benefits. And once you do, you'll find it so much easier to get into those scenarios where you don't have to drink, and you can serve yourself and serve others much better. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Thanks for listening, me rabbiting on, but hopefully that sort of helps and gives some perspective. Cheers, guys. Ta-da. Bye.